Hello everyone and welcome to the session on Java today. This is Keshav and we are going to start with the very first topic, which is introduction to Java. Now before starting with what Java is, let us first try to understand what is a programming language. When we talk about a particular programming language, what comes to our mind? What do we think? So programming language is generally a language through which we can communicate with computers, right? We can communicate with computers and make them do our tasks in much more easier and a better way. That is what a programming language is, and that is the reason why people all over the world are quite mad to learn about it, because they do a lot of work for us, isn't it? They help us a lot. It is a language which helps us to communicate with computers. Right now I am able to talk to you and you are able to talk to me because we both know a common language, isn't it? So in case we have to talk to computers, we need to learn their language, isn't it? Which is the programming language. Now there are various types of programming language present in today's world. Earlier, when first the languages came into picture, we had more sort of low level languages. Now you'll ask that what is a low level language, isn't it? Now these languages were more sort of computer friendly. They were not human friendly. You had to learn a lot of things while writing a low level language. But right now the trend has changed totally, because since the introduction of the language C, the things have changed in such a way that people everywhere are using high level language. A language which is more human friendly. This is what high level language means. We have Java, we have C++, we have C as well, we have Python. So these type of languages are more human friendly, because more sorts of code or whatever code you write in these languages, you are able to understand these codes, isn't it? And that is the reason why these things are called as high level languages. So this is what a programming language is. Now let's look up to Java. Why people started using Java? So Java brought two features with itself which made it more popular other than any other languages. Now, what were the two features of Java which made it more popular? Okay, let's list them down. The first feature which was that it was platform independent. And the second feature which was present in Java was that it was mostly object oriented. Okay, so none of the languages which came before Java were having these two features, and that is the reason why people switched to Java. How exactly is Java platform independent, and what is the meaning of platform independent? That is the first question, isn't it? Okay, so I think here you all can see that what exactly this thing is. This thing is a very simple example of a racing track where people actually try to race and play various types of field events, isn't it? That is what a racing track is. So I'll tell you why I have drawn this figure, and I'll try to explain you the importance of this figure shortly. Just bear with me for one more minute, please. Now, when we were talking about various types of programming languages, the first thing which came into picture was the platform independence, right? That is the feature which Java was having with it. Now, what do we mean by platform independence? So, languages before Java, like let's take an example of C or C++. If we are going to write a piece of code in C, and let's take the operating system which I am using is Windows. So if I'm going to write a piece of code in C in Windows, the same piece of code will not work in Linux or Mac, meaning it is not going to work on any other OS. Why? Because in C, the code pattern changes totally with respect to the operating system. And that is where Java stood firmly. It said that no, I am going to make this whole thing as platform independent. Okay, now I know that these things are quite technical for you all, so I'll try to explain this thing to you with the help of this racing track itself. So let's say that this is a racing track which is there in a particular school. Okay, you all can see that it is rectangular in shape, isn't it? It is totally rectangular in shape. Now let's say that one has to play football on it. So you'll say that yeah, he can play football on it because football has a rectangular field. But tell me one thing, if somebody comes and says that I want to play cricket as well on this, will that be possible? No, because when we try to play cricket, we have to make sure that the ground should be circular in shape, and this ground is perfectly not circular in shape, isn't it? So let's say the ground which you are seeing here, the racing track, it is equivalent to the piece of code. And various sporting events such as cricket, football, hockey, badminton, all these things, they are the operating systems. So will the same piece of code work for all the types of sports? I would say no, isn't it? Because these ground is not applicable for all type of sports, and that is the problem which C was creating. It was having a ground which was not proper for all the type of sports, and that is where Java overcame C. It says that I will create a ground in such a way that it can accumulate all sorts of sports. Getting it? That is the reason why Java is so much popular than C or C++, because if we have all sorts of sports in a one ground, then of course we are going to go for that one particular ground, isn't it? We are never going to go for different types of grounds. So this is how platform independence works in Java. It means that the same piece of code once written on a particular operating system will work on any other operating system out there, that you don't have to worry about changing the piece of code, which was totally different in C, isn't it? That is what platform independence refers to or means.